Okay. Good to go.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Mantra number 44, page number 143 from Rig Ved. अग्नि द्वारा प्रदूषण का क्षय होता है। जैसे ग्रीष्म ऋतु में हानिकारक कई कीटाणु नष्ट होते हैं और वातावरण शुद्ध होता है, अन्न और धन का स्रोत भी ऊर्जा ही है। अगन आयुषी पवस आ सुवोचिशम च न। हे अग्नि, तुम जीवन को पवित्र करते हो, हमें अन्न बल दो। ऊर्जा से ही सब जी रहे, ऊर्जा ही है प्राण। आग रूप जन ऊर्जा करत वेद बखान। ऊर्जा से हो स्वस्थ जन, रोगों का हो नाश। ऊर्जा शक्ति रूप है, ऊर्जा बिना विनाश। ऊर्जा बिना न अन्न मिले, बिन ऊर्जा न धन। ऊर्जा से ही शुद्ध हो सब जीवों का तन। ऊर्जा का उपयोग बद हो रहा है मीत। बन रहे हैं बम बहु, मरते लाखों चीत। वेदों की है शिक्षा भाई, अग्नि है ये देव कहाई। इससे जन सब लाभ उठाएं, नाशकारी ना कर्म कराएं। So the 5 देवता हैं, so we got to learn how to use them properly, respect them. So this bad word, bad upyog. So in the footnote, Guruji said, Bura prayog. So whenever we misuse something, any element, when we misuse it, what happens? We get hurt in the end. Okay? So bad upyog. So when we use it properly, this Agni is so powerful, so useful. But when we pollute it, don't use it properly, we get hurt. Okay? So now let's do Vedic mantra, peace prayers. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parbrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhu Bhuva Swaha, Tatsavitravare Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Asto ma Satgamya Tamso ma Jyotirgamya Mrityorma Amritam Gamya. Om Sehna Bhavatu Sehna Bhunaktu Saviryam Karvavahi Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi. Om Shanti 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 Om. I'm sure you're all familiar with these, at least the first 3 mantras, because they are quite popular. The 4th one, which we sing, is before the Upanishadic studies, deep studies. It's like a student and the teacher, they sing it together. And let me read the English translation to you. We are saying God, Om. May the Lord protect both the teacher and the disciple. And may He cherish us both. May we work with full energy, that our study be perfect and give good results. May we never feel ill will toward the other. Okay, so like a peacefully, without arrogance, teacher teaches, and peacefully student learn. Because the idea is to heighten our intellect, that's all. Teacher only shares the information. Okay, so there's no bad arguments. Discussions are always good, but the arguments to put each other down is always looked down upon by our Vedic seers. Okay, so that mantra is a very powerful mantra. It's like we got to keep that in mind when we study. So now let's go to where we left off last week. In this particular chapter, I'm sure everybody got to, do you know on which page you are on? We did chapter number 6 last week, we finished it. That's where King Janak, who is trying to give his opinion, because a chapter before that, Rishi Astavakra, as a guru, he was advising for a lay yoga, dissolving the ego. And in this chapter 6, King Janak, as a student, he is basically saying that I don't know what is there to dissolve. Okay, so that's why the second line, end of second line of all these 4 verses, he says, "No tyaga nagraha laya." Okay, there's nothing for me to renounce. If I don't see that, what can I renounce? So again and again, he's saying it not arrogantly, but whatever he sees in himself. Okay. So any question on that chapter? So one great thing we learned in this chapter was that universe itself comes out of the self. See, science insists upon and even try to prove that we do not come into the world, we come out of the world. We come out of the world. Over here, Astavakra Samhita or Gita is just like going one step further, ahead of the knowledge of the scientists. And that's why this declaration over here by King Janak also, that the universe itself comes out of the self. This was the main message in the last chapter. He said, even without bringing this surging mind into its dissolution, the layer, the infinite self, the soul, ever peaceful, and from there the mind has risen. And this mind of mine is beyond agitations. Only on the surface, he says, there are waves, but deep down, it's all calm. It's serene. It is immeasurable depth. He says the creation and the dissolution of the universe are both illusions of the unsteady mind. So if mind is unsteady, only then we will try to make it steady. So he says it's just an illusion. So the creation and the dissolution of the universe are both illusions of the unsteady mind. To the self, to the soul, there is neither the anxiety to accept nor the labor to reject the mind or even its imaginary worlds. So that's why very boldly Janak ji said that lay yoga itself is only for those who have in themselves lingering shadows of ignorance, which is ego. But even after saying all this, I think Janakji is feeling unsatisfied. That's why he just started talking more about it in the next chapter. And next chapter, we see 5 verses. They are all spoken by Janakji. Let's look at the number 1. May anant maha ambudau vishwapota itastataha Brahmati swant patena mama asti asahinshantaha. May means in me. Anant maha ambudau, in the shoreless ocean. Anant, infinite. Don't even see the edges of it. Maha Amb, that's the ocean. Amb means water. Maha, great. So Anant Maha Ambado in the shoreless ocean. Vishvapotaha, the ark of the universe. Ark means a boat. Itastataha, here and there. Brahmati moves. Swant vaten. See, vat means the wind, the air. By the wind of its own mind. Okay. Na mam. Na means not, mam means my. Asti is a sahinshunta, impatience. Yes, Jyoti, question?
Nirja.
Yes, Niru.
हर्ष जी, ये अगर क्वेश्चन जनक के ही है तो ये सेपरेट चैप्टर में क्यों है?
Because the style has changed a little. The last few verses, they were one style. Now, see, chapters have been divided by the author. There are certain authors, when they put it all together, they put it into one. Okay. So style is, you will see that it's just like a little, from a different angle he's talking about now. Yeah. Okay. So that's why. There's no other reason.
Actually,
it can be together also. Okay.
I have a question also, Harshji.
Yes, Prem.
You said the last chapter, universe, the main theme is universe comes out of the self. Does that also mean the same thing as in, as out? Like the world is a reflection of what's going on inside us?
Of course.
That means the same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. Okay.
See, like a same outer circumstance, one person finds it very conducive.
Yes.
And the other person non-conducive, according to their own internal world.
Internal world.
Right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, yeah, we create our own worlds.
There's one other thing that I want to say. Last time when Raja Janak said that he saw himself as bigger and the universe as the wave, but he was the ocean. And you asked me to contemplate on that. And I did. And to me, then I understood better that his identification with the universe was so ultimate that he could actually see himself so big that the whole universe seemed like wave and he was the ocean.
Yes, right.
So that really humbled me so much.
Yeah, that's right. See, this is what we need to do after studying, contemplate upon it, and then experience it. See, ultimate test is our own experience.
Yes, that's the main thing.
And we can experience only if we reflect upon it. So listening, reflecting, experience, these are the three stages of study.
Yes.
Okay. So good. I'm glad you did that. Yes.
Thank you.
So Brahmati moves. So he says, in me, the shoreless ocean. So in me is the shoreless ocean. It's like a big ocean is me. There's no end to it. The ark of the universe, like a boat of the universe. The whole universe is just like a boat. Moves here and there. Driven by the wind of its own mind. And over here, it could be the universal mind. See, there's an individual mind and there's a universal mind. He says, I am not impatient. I'm not impatient means I do not get disturbed by it. Control your own mind. We really cannot control the universal mind. Be patient. Patience is one of the virtues. Do all this, whatever you are learning, in yourself. That's all we need to do. And be patient with the rest of it. Otherwise, we pay more attention to the outer things. Why this is happening? Why the tornadoes? Why the corona? Right? Why the global warming? We constantly get disturbed by the universal things. Take care of your things first. Okay? So in me, the shoreless ocean, the arc of the universe moves here and there, driven by the wind of its own mind. Even in ourselves also, where are the movements? Who moves those things in us? The mind does. Everything could be very beautiful, no problem, but this mind creates a trouble. The wind of the mind. Okay, so that's why he says, in a man of realization, which he is right now, from that standpoint, he's saying it's absurd to say that he recognizes all this world of polarity. So that means he sees it. It's not that he doesn't see anything what's happening around there, but he does not get disturbed by it. Okay, so his mind and intellect, they don't get disturbed. So it's not that everything in the outer world, in the universe, will start going according to his wish. No, he doesn't even wish for anything different than what is happening. But internally, he stays calm about it. Okay, so the peaceful mind outside and the peaceful mind in the depth of the mind also. That's what he works on. See, that's why we say that our world is created by our mind. Like my world is created by my mind, and your world is created by your mind. Even though we can be living in the same world. See, just like in one family also, two people are living or several people are living, same conditions, but they can have a different state of mind because we all create our own worlds. So the universe is the common field where all the existing minds can experience freely their own individual worlds of joys and sorrows. Okay, so this is a swa ant vate. See, vat means the wind. Okay, if you know the Hatha Yoga, there is under Hatha Yoga there is a cleansing process. See, because we are supposed to clean our mind also, we are supposed to clean our body also. There is a cleaning of the internal organs, which is called a Vatasar. With the air, we can clean it. There is an Agnisar, that's with the fire, we can clean it. And there's a Varisar, we use the water to clean it too. So this Vat term reminds me of that cleansing process. Okay, so by the mind of its own mind, the universe of names and forms, they keep on moving. They will move. But in our mind, they don't have to move. What kind of a mind? A mind of a yogi. So that's why Janak ji is saying the disturbances in the individual life and the universal life around are all illusory confusions projected by the individual mind and the universal mind. Okay? And the wise person is not impatient either with the personal disturbances or the universal disturbances. There's a reason for the universal disturbance too. Okay, So that's what that very strong word he's using over here, asahinchinta. He does not get impatient. We get impatient for our personal also. Even though we are the one who created it, we get impatient. And outside also, we really don't have much control over it, and we get impatient towards that also. And what happens in result? We create our own miseries. The mind, which is supposed to be calm and tranquil and clean, clear, we have just made it disturbed. We created more problems. Okay? It's a very powerful message he is giving it to us in these verses. Then he says in number 2, Mai anant maha ambudau jagdvichi swabhavata udetu va astam ayatu na me vridhi na chakshati. Mai means in me. Anant maha ambudau, in the limitless ocean. In the last chapter, he used in most of the verses, the end of the every verse, the same words. Over here we see in the beginning, because he's starting it out with that. Mai anant maha ambudau, jagat vichi, the waves of the world. Swabhavata, spontaneously. Udetu means rise, they may rise. Va astam, or get dissolved. Dissolution. Ayatu, may attain. Na may, not my, vridhi, increase. Na chakshati, not decrease. Shati means destroyed or a decrease. In me, and what is in me? The limitless ocean. Let the waves of the world rise and vanish spontaneously. So whatever is happening in the outer world, they come and go. There's a day and night. There's a pain and a pleasure. Whether it's in the outer world or whether it's in my own little sphere. So he says, in me, the limitless ocean, let the waves of the world rise and vanish spontaneously. Subhavata. That means it's a subhav of this world to have the ups and downs. I experience. So as a yogi, he is saying, I experience neither increase nor decrease of me thereby. Because he is recognizing or identifying himself with the Atma. He says, there's no increase or decrease of me. See, just like an outer ocean also, there are so much water comes in there through all the rivers. The ocean stays, the level of the ocean stays same. The same way he says, all outside, there are ups and downs. But in me, there's no increase or decrease. Because I identify with myself with that limitless ocean. So Janakji is amplifying the significance of the metaphor which he has used in the last verse. So waves in the ocean. Each wave has a different form and apparent identity of its own. Okay, so they can come, there's a bigger waves, there are smaller waves. But yet in a sense, they're all nothing else but ocean water. So that's why he says, I am the self. This is what I'm experiencing, and this is the final wisdom. So naturally in me, the spontaneous rise of the worlds or their dissolution cannot bring any disturbance at all. Because I know I am the changeless. And we have studied all this in Bhagavad Gita also, in other scriptures also. The self, the soul, our real identity cannot be changed because it doesn't have a form. It's formless, it's colorless, it's shapeless, changeless. We identify ourselves with the non-self. That's where we get disturbed. So more and more, if we understand that we are the Atma, the soul, the self, the more and more peace will come. That doesn't mean that we will stop living. We will still live, but we will live like a yogi. Okay? So he's saying that due to the non-apprehension of the self means the soul, there are the misapprehensions of the world. And this ignorance manifests in the mind. The same thing we learned in Vivek Chudamani. Some of you have studied that with me, by Shankaracharya ji. What did he say? Na heyasya vidyaha manso atiriktaha mano hi vidyaha bhav bandh hetu tasmin vinishte saklam vinishtam vijribhante ari saklam vijribhante. He says there's no ignorance beyond the mind. So ignorance is only in the mind. He says mind alone is the ignorance. The cause for all the sorrows of the change. Bhav bandh hetu. All the changes, bhav bandh means is coming and going. Something gets created, something gets destroyed. This is the change which happens, and he says cause for this is the mind. He says when it is destroyed, tasmin vinishte saklam vinishtam. When it's destroyed, all are destroyed. When it projects, everything gets projected. So the whole game is with the mind over here, and that's why in meditation also we are working on the mind. That's why in the beginning of this class today I said always keep an eye on your mind. We like to keep an eye on somebody else's mind. Keep an eye on your mind. That's all we have to do. We don't have to read somebody else's mind. There was some study done a few years ago. In that study, they said 99% of the people, 75% of the time, they are thinking about somebody else. So that in their mind, they have something else, somebody else. Instead of working on their mind, taking care of their flaws or the strengths, they are thinking about somebody else. Even when we are doing something good, we always want others to know it more. That means we are looking into their people, we want to peep into their mind. So it's none of our business. Our business is only to clean this mind, control this mind of ours. So that's why these saints, they all say the same thing. Okay? That's the reason I bring out the other scriptures sayings that there's no contradiction, no matter which book we study. But it has to be written by a saintly person. Okay? Remember the other day we talked about the Krit books, they can come up with something else. They can have their own ideas, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the other two kinds. Okay? Samrit and the Vidirkat. Okay? So number 3, Mai Anant Maha Ambudyo Vishwam Nam Vikalpanaha Ati Shantaha Nirakara Etat Ev Aham Asthita. Again, the first part, Mai Anant Maha Ambudyo, in me, in the shoreless ocean, Vishwam, universe, Nam, called, Vikalpanaha, imagination. Ati Shantaha, profound, tranquil. Ati Shant, extremely peaceful. Nirakar, formless. Etat means this, Ev means alone, Aham means I, Asthita, abiding, situated. In me, the shoreless ocean is the imagined illusion of the universe. I am the profoundly tranquil and formless. In this knowledge alone, I abide. So in the previous verse, we have the metaphor of the ocean and the waves. And now he's just talking about that, yeah, definitely in this universe, there's an imagination. But I just only look at it. I totally center myself. I abide in the self, even though this is all there. Okay, so in me, the shoreless ocean is the imagined illusion of the universe. I am the profoundly tranquil and formless. In this knowledge alone I abide. So the world of names and forms is only the imagination, vikalpana. And this vikalpana could be an individual mind's vikalpana, or it could be a total mind's vikalpana. It's like in aggregate, we all think that this sky is blue. So total mind. There are a lot of things we just, it's like a group consciousness is thinking like that. All the fashions come out like that. Group consciousness. Everybody starts thinking like that. Okay. So that's what he says. Vikalpana, the total mind. It has no existence whatsoever. Because the total existence is only which is formless and shapeless and which is always there. So the self is undisturbed, profoundly peaceful, and ever formless. So ati shantaha nirakara. And he says, I am abiding in that. You can go back to later on after the class. There is a verse number 18 in chapter 1. Very clearly, he gives us like a very direct thought on the form and formless. He says, Sakaram anritam vidhi. Nirakaram tu nishchalam. So Sakaram anritam vidhi means all which have form are false. Anrit. See, there's a amarit and there's a anrit. So all which have form are false. Because forms will change. Something which will change, he calls it false. Because it's a temporary also. Okay. So Sakaram anritam vidhi and nirakaram tu nishchalam. The formless is the changeless. Something which does not change. Ordinarily also, a person who keeps on changing his words, we say that that person is not truthful. We don't pay much attention to that person, what that person says. But a person who will stick to his word, that's a nirakaram tu nishchala. That doesn't change. Next verse. Na atma bhaveshu na bhava tatra anante niranjane iti asaktaha asapriha shantaha etat eva aham asthita. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay, Hersh, before you start that next verse, Kim has a question.
Yes, Kim.
Hello, good morning, Hersh.
Good morning, Kim.
Sorry, you said Sakaram Amritam Vidi. I thought that Amritam means when something is eternal and deathless.
No, it is a unritam. It's a with the N, not M.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah.
Amrit.
So Amrit is eternal. Anrit is false.
Okay.
Okay? So these are, I know. It's a, the sound, especially on the Zoom, maybe it's not even very clear when I speak, but that's what, I'm glad you asked. I'm sure a lot of other people got that also.
Thank you.
But if you go on the chapter number 1, verse number 18, you will see it written over there too.
Oh, thank you.
So number 4. Na atma bhaveshu na bhava tatra anante niranjane iti asaktaha aspriha shantaha etat ev aham astitaha. Na atma, not the atma, soul, self, bhaveshu, in the objects. Na bhavaha, not object, tatra, in that self, anantehe, limitless, niranjane, taintless. Taintless means flawless. Iti means hence, asaktaha, unattached. Aspriha, desireless. Shantaha, tranquil. Etat means this, ev means alone, aham is I, asthita, abide in. So the self is not in the object, nor is the object in this self, which is infinite and taintless. So what is infinite and taintless? The self, the soul, the Atma. Hence, it is free from attachment and desire. It is tranquil. In this knowledge alone, I abide. Okay, so we all know attachments. Attachments could be with the senses, with the body, with the mind, with the intellect, anything which is non-self, attachments are part of that. And the desires also. So in other words, when he says it is tranquil, self is tranquil and flawless, that means whenever there are desires, whenever there's attachment, there's no tranquility. And it's not flawless either. It's not a niranjan. Because objects of the world, when he talks about objects of the world are the imaginations of the mind. They are not in the self. Self is the substratum of the world. Objects cannot exist without the self, but objects are not in the self. So infinite and the taintless, the self is free from attachment to anything. And it cannot entertain any desire for anything. Nothing can ever remain as other than the self. That's why the Upanishads say, Atmaha ekam ev idam sarvam. The one self alone is all these. This is only one. All these lifted forms, see, just like an ocean is one, all the different things which we see in it, those are temporary, those are imaginations by the mind. So Atma ekam ev idam sarvam. So attachments and desires are delusions of the mind. And we need to, this is the sadhana we need to do, this is the practice. And when these two are transcended, the mind is transcended. When we talk about transcendental meditation, this is what need to do. Transcend the mind and the intellect. Rise above it. Rise above the forms, the names. Okay? So,
Harshji, this is Sonia. One quick question.
sure.
So over here, when he says object, is he really referring to attachment and desires?
Yes.
Or, right? Okay.
Yes, that means it could be the physical objects. It could be the mental imaginations. It is anything other than the Atma.
Okay.
It could be intellectual apprehensions. It could be anything. Anything other than the Atma and the Paramatma. That's the object. Because sometimes we think objects are only the physical objects. No, it's anything other than the Atma. Okay, so we don't have, that's why we don't have to run away, go into the cave or the mountains to achieve this state of mind. Because even if we go there, our mind is going with us. We are taking the objects in our mind. We can practice all this living in our families, but slowly move our attention towards it. Okay? So he says in this form knowledge. And over here, this has born out of his direct experience actually. That's why Raja Janak keeps on repeating this to us. He cannot stop repeating. He says, he's confessing over here that I abide in it. Etat ev aham asthita. Okay, I'm abiding in it, that I am the Atma alone. The last verse of this chapter. Aho chin matram ev aham indra jal upamam jagat ataha mam katham kutra hai upadeya kalpanaha. Aho means oh, almost like oh, marvelous. Chin matram, pure consciousness. Ev means really. Aham I, Indrajal, like a magic show. Indrajal. Upamam Jagat. It's like a world. Jagat is the world. Ataha, therefore, mam means my, katham how, kutra where, haya upedya kalpana. Notions of rejection or acceptance. Okay? Haya upadeya. Haya means something we reject. Upadeya means we are accepting something. So he says notions of rejections or acceptance. He says, oh, I am really pure consciousness. The world is like a magic show. It's also called a Maya Jal, or it's called a Leela. Over here he called it a Indrajal. So I am really pure consciousness. The world is like a magic show. Hence, how and where can there be any notion of rejection or acceptance in me? See, rejection or acceptance over here, he is taking our attention back to that Laya Yoga. That to reject something. He says, what is there to reject? I'm not affected by it. This is an Indrajal. Nothing in this world can either attract or repel a man of wisdom. He is in perfect detachment, continuously he's enjoying the free show. It's like a show. It's a play going on. Just enjoy it without getting attached or without getting disturbed to it. So to him, the world show is a fantasy created by his mind with its imagination. It could be individual mind or it could be a group mind. There's no reality in it. Okay, I mean, right now we see it, but it can change. The real doesn't change. Unreal can always change. So that's why he says, there is nothing for me to accept or reject in the vast, illusory show of his own mind in agitation. So this is the attitude of the wise person. So we are not there yet, but this is where we are going towards with the practice. There is another Upanishad, Maha Upanishad, that say, Behi Kritrim Sarambho Hridi Saramb Varjita. Karta Behir Karta Antlokehe Bahir Shuddhi. He says, O man of pure intelligence, Shuddhi. Shuddh means pure, Dhi means Buddhi, intelligence. So man of pure intelligence, with mind at rest, though restlessly working outside as an apparent doer outside, but really as a non-doer within, play about in the world of activities and achievements. So this Upanishad is clearly telling us how to live in this world. Because they don't say that stop doing what you're doing or don't do your duties. Gita also says the same thing. So these Upanishads also say the same thing. Do what you're supposed to do in the outer field, with the outer instruments, but the internal instruments remain a non-doer. So that's why that common saying, Haath se kaam and man mein Ram. And Lord Krishna says to Arjuna also the same thing. Absorb your mind and intellect into me and do your duties. So this Upanishad, let me repeat it again, some of you are writing. O man of pure intelligence, with mind at rest, though restlessly working outside. So that means, who is working outside? Not the mind, but the body is working. Restlessly means keep on working, work hard, but mind at rest. So outside as an apparent doer, so outside people will say that, oh yeah, you are working so hard. But really as a non-doer within. Because inside you know you are not doing it. Who is doing it? Prakriti is doing it. Not you are doing it. We have just misidentified ourselves with the Prakriti part of us. That is the mistake we have made. Like I'm speaking. Am I speaking? In a real sense, no. My mouth is speaking with the help of the vocal cords and with the help of my eyes and with the help of all the knowledge which is in my brain. Atma is not speaking. So if I identify myself with my vocal cords, with my brain, then sure I am speaking. But if the identification is the Atma, I'm not speaking. So this Rishi is saying, O man of pure intelligence with mind at rest, though restlessly working outside as an apparent doer outside, but really as a non-doer within. Play about in the world of activities and achievements. How? By abiding in the self, the yogi, or a man of wisdom, definitely works outside in the world, though in the depth, that person is ever actionless and tranquil. Okay, So Raja Janak, because you remember, if you go back a couple of chapters back, King Janak was testing him. So with all this, Raja Janak says, yes, I am a king. I'm playing a part of a king, but internally, I am totally peaceful and tranquil. This is all just a play. I have taken the part in this play only in the outside, not internally. So we got to see in our day-to-day life, what are we doing? Sometimes we are supposed to work outside, but outside we become very actionless. We don't want to do what we are supposed to do, but internally we are churning. And that's how we go away from the path of yoga. This is the path of yoga. Okay? Do whatever's supposed to be done to the best of your ability, capability, work hard. But internally, stay calm. An internal disturbance is always from the desires, as he said, looking for the fruit of your likes. That's where the disturbance comes. I'm doing it, I should get this. It could be a good work, but still if you're doing it because of the fruit, there's a restlessness. So that's why this scripture or Bhagavad Gita or other scriptures, they keep telling us that work hard, do the duties, stay calm, tranquil, restful, desireless, unattached. Okay? Those are the qualities we need to cultivate. So now there's a beautiful message we'll get in the next verse also. I just want you to think about it this week. There is a beautiful stanza which talks about bondage and freedom. He says we got to just only change that word a little. From bondage it becomes freedom. We think that we need to do a lot. We don't have to do a lot. This is just like if we have faced towards the world, in order to become peaceful, turn the face towards God. That's all. It's only this much. But we think we need to climb the mountains. So this verse, listen to this verse, and if you want to write it down, write it down. This is also from Maha Upanishad. And it says, first let me just read the Sanskrit part and then I'll give you the translation. Dve pade bandh mokshaye nirmam iti mam iti cha. Mam iti bandhyet jantu nirmam iti vimuchyate. He says for bondage and freedom, there are two words. Nirmam iti and mam iti. He says while mam iti binds, and nirmam iti releases. And what is mamiti? And what is nirmamiti? Mamiti means mindness. So mindness binds, and nirmamiti means not mine. It releases. My body, I get attached to it. My children, my house, my jewelry, my bank account, my achievements, all bondages. Nirmamiti, not mine. Nothing is ours. If it was ours, we should be able to take it with us. And we all know, cannot take any of it. So let me read it again. If you know the Sanskrit, you'll see that the very depth of this verse. Dve pade bandh mokshaye nirmamiti mameti cha. Mamiti bandhyet jantur nirmamiti vimuchyate. For bondage and freedom, there are two words. Nirmamiti and mamiti. Mamiti binds, nirmamiti releases living beings. So we have to think about it. So this is what he's going to teach us in the next verse. And who's teaching this now? The Guru is Rishi Astavakra. Bandhan and moksha. Because we are all bondaged. And some of these bondages from lifetimes, countless lifetimes. But that doesn't mean that we don't need to get freedom from it. As long as we are bondaged, there's a misery. We are looking for the joy, we are looking for the happiness, we are looking for the bliss. That's going to come only from the freedom. Na mam iti. But so far in this lifetime, we think that the more we have, more we accumulate, more we acquire, more we hold, we're going to become happy. But it has become a more burden for us. More bondages. Nothing is ours. Nothing is ours. Remember that body is not ours. It's not going to go with us. Nothing else going to go with us. Because of all the things, the body is the most precious to us. Whatever we accumulate, when body gets sick, we are ready to spend all that on our body. Body is very precious, but it's not ours either. Okay, think about it. Contemplate upon it. And then we'll see this in chapter 8, how this great Rishi is going to open it up for us. See, these gurus, these rishis, what do they do for us? These deep philosophical verses, they keep on opening for us. Because our mind doesn't understand the deeper significance. So that's why they keep on opening for us. So that some way, somehow, we get the fragrance of it and we start living this truth. Okay, so any question now? Let's stop the class right here, 11:35. So even though I want to go on and on, but we got to put a stop to these classes also. Then tomorrow morning we'll begin. Yes, who has a question?
Nirja, and then Manju Malhotra.
Yes, Manju. Okay.
In the fourth verse, you had said some Sanskrit thing, Atma ek dev ek sarvam, something.
Yeah, Atma ekam ev. Atma ekam ev idam sarvam. Okay, the one self, ek Atma, alone is all these. See, whatever we see, it's only one. See, because where we are, we think my Atma and your Atma. Atma in a dog and Atma in a cat, Atma in a rishi and Atma in a dusht. No, there's only one Atma. There are not many Atmas. It's only one Atma. So that's what it says. Atma ekam ev idam sarvam. Everywhere there's only one Atma. And what is that Atma? Brahma. There's nothing in between the Atmas. It's only our illusion. We think that my Atma and your Atma, and in between there's nothing. There's a shunya. No, it's not shunya. That's why I use the word homogeneous all the time. Homogeneously, it's everywhere. Atma alone. Arjun, what will he see in this chapter which we have started last week? Chapter 11, Virat Rup Darshan. He is going to see God everywhere. He says, I don't see the beginning, I don't see the end, I don't see the middle. Everywhere, just God, nothing but God. And that's what the Atma, this Upanishad is talking about. Okay, Atma ekam ev idam sarvam. It's a very popular saying among the Veda scholars.
Thank you.
Yes, Manju.
Manju Malhotra.
Namaste, Hershi. No,
Namaste, Manju.
The third verse, when you said Gita, parallel to Gita, chapter 118, That's what you
No,
said.
not Gita. That's not a Gita. That is the same Astavakra Gita.
Okay.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah.
I want you to go back to this book also.
Okay. I was wondering. Yeah, I didn't find that. Okay, sure.
Yeah. No,
Thank
sorry
you.
about that. It's Astavakra Gita, chapter 1, verse number 18. You can check it out right now if you want to. You have the books with you. It should be Sakaram Anritam Vidhi Nirakaram Nishchalam. Okay.
And there is an iPad user.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody
raise your
else? Any
hand.
question?
I have
Tammy?
a question.
Harji,
Yes.
I have a question.
So,
Yes, Poonam.
Harji, you had talked about total mind. I can, the universal mind. I think it was in the first verse. And you said, he says that the universe moves here and there, driven by the winds of its own mind, which means universal mind. And then you talked about the total mind, and then you talked about the group consciousness. And I was trying to understand, what are we talking about? What is the universal mind we are talking about?
Universal mind, group consciousness, total mind, it's the same thing.
And which is?
Which is like in Sanskrit, we often use the word Hiranyagarabha. It says a total consciousness. See, there are things happen because of the totality of the mind. The aggregate mind also, some people call it aggregate. So we really don't have much control over it.
Okay.
Okay.
So would you say it is the minds of everybody? That's how we are
together. Yes. Everybody together in the whole universe.
Yeah.
So do we have a control over it? We don't.
So that would be the universal mind or the total mind or the group
or the Hiranyagarabha, or the group consciousness. That's why they say most of our karmas those are called the effect of the good group karmas too. But there is a one karam which we do, which is our individual karam, and that's called a meditation. So we should do more. We have control only at that point.
Because that is only our mind, then not the...
That's only our mind we are trying to purify. We are trying to control. We are trying to become a master of our own mind, which is so powerful. But we just, and if we control that, then only then we become a master. But most of our time we are trying to control other things. Okay, so does that answer, Poonam?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right, good. Anybody else?
Pammy?
Harshi, I have a question.
Yes, Pramila.
In this number 3, could you explain that sentence, names and forms is only imagination? Then you said something about group consciousness and non-existence. I did not get that part.
Okay, name and forms, imaginations means today they are here, tomorrow they are not there. Name and forms, right? And name and forms, some of the things we call them like a water. In Hindi we call it a jal. Scientists, they might call it a H2O. Over here we call it a water, right? And in different languages, it's different names and forms. And the water itself can have a different form.
Okay.
These are all imaginations. Imagination means we are the one who gave them the names.
Okay.
Okay. So he says, rise above that. Rise above the temporary. Try to get absorbed into the real, which is the Atma. Okay. So it's not that we should not deal with this. Deal with this only with that much energy. Something which is a temporary, even otherwise also, something which is a temporary in our house. See, for example, a paper plate. How do you really deal with a paper plate versus a crystal bowl? Right? Something which is more precious, more longer lasting versus something which is throwable. So the same way, all of this is temporary. Only thing which is permanent is the Atma. Pay attention to that.
Okay.
So something which is part of God, so precious, we have forgotten. Something which is so temporary, we have put all our energy and time, and we even don't even mind ruining our relationships, ruining our own mind for something which is temporary. Okay, so that's what he's talking about over here.
Thank you.
Make sense, Pramila?
One more.
Sure.
Manju Malhotra.
Yes, Manju.
You have to unmute, Manju.
Unmute, Manju.
Unmute. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I probably missed the moments you talked about Smrit, the books, Smrit books, Vidit and Krit. Could you kindly repeat it?
Yeah, see, Krit books are, those are written by ordinary people or ordinary mind, I should say.
Okay.
Krit.
Okay.
So there could be a flaw in them.
Okay.
And the second level of books is called Samrit.
Yes.
Those are written by the saintly people, but
Right.
again, from the minds of the saintly people.
Right.
Their gurus or the gods or whoever told them, and then they might have added or subtracted something in there.
Mm-hmm.
Those are Samrit. And all the Purans, Ramayana, even Mahabharata. But in the Mahabharata, the Gita part is not Samrit.
Right.
But rest of the Mahabharata is called Samrit. From the Samriti, from the memory of the writer. And who's the writer of Mahabharata? Ved Vyasa. Even though he is a God incarnate, but still it's considered a Samrit. Because story was told to him and then he wrote.
Right.
And then Vidirgat. Vidirgat is...
How do you spell that?
V-I-D-I-R, Vidir, Gat, G-A-T. So 2 words, Vidir, Gat. So it's like the script, the Vedas are called Vidir, Gat. Those are, they were revealed to those saintly people. It's not their creation. That's why those rishis, they never take ownership on that. They were revealed. That's why it's called Sanatan, eternal. Or it's also called Apurusha.
How do you spell that?
The Purush did not create it.
Apurusha.
One being did not create it. And you will not find a flaw in the Vedas.
Right.
Our understanding may not have reached up to that level, but there's no flaw in the Vedas. Okay, so these are the 3 different levels. And then last time Poonam made a point. So the Krit, there can be a flaw. Can there be a flaw in the Samrit? No. There could be a small amount of flaw. Even though a writer is a high level of a saint, but there could be. But in the highest level, the Vidirgat, there can never be a flaw. Because those are the words of God.
And Bhagavad Gita falls in that category.
Bhagavad Gita falls in that because Rishi Vyas, he said, Gita has come from the mouth of Vishnu himself.
Right.
Okay, so that has come from the mouth of God. How can there be a flaw in it?
Right. Okay.
Right. So Gita is also called
Shruti.
Ved, 5th Ved. 4 Ved, Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved, Atharva Ved, and Gita is called the 5th Ved also. Okay?
And Vedas are by Lord Brahma. No.
Yeah, those are like a Brahm. Yeah, it's like a
Brahma or Brahma.
Brahm. Actually, kehte hain Brahma. That's why Brahma has the like all the sides, four sides, 4 mouths. But actually, Brahma, who gave that to Brahma? Brahm.
Right.
Brahma is the power of Brahm.
Right.
Creative power of Brahm. Okay. And then Shakti of Brahma is what? Saraswati.
Saraswati.
Saraswati always have the Vedas in her hands. right? That's why all the scholars, they do the Saraswati Puja before they start something. And again, this puja really means it's bringing your own ego down, trying to connect with the higher power. That's what it means. Okay? See, just like we do, before we study, we always show our reverence to our Guru, to the book which we are studying, to the universe itself. Okay? Yes, there's another question.
Yes, one more. Kim?
Yes, Kim.
I I have many questions, but I'll try to just ask one. So when I do the sadhana, it becomes easier to stop identifying with the unreal, the senses and the desires and everything. But at the same time, I want to elevate the identification with the real, the soul. But I can, I'm not able to do that. Is there a different? I mean, is that where devotion comes in? You know, just
that's where the devotion comes in. That's where one way to do sadhana is very important. That's where a teacher comes into the picture, which we call a guru. Guru gives us a sadhana. When sadhana is given by a guru, then it really works much better. Otherwise, there are so many different ways to do the sadhana, and the mind keeps on fluctuating. When a guru gives the sadhana, then we do it. Okay? It's like a more earnestly, and we take it seriously also. Okay? So, do not get disheartened. Just keep doing what you're doing. When you are in the company of a guru, you will know who's your guru. And then that's where the initiation comes into the picture. And that's where the real, this movement towards the higher happens faster. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you are not the only one. We all go through that, where we feel that, yeah, what is that? What is that higher? What is that real? How come I don't see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's okay. That's it. You are at a good place right now. You know how many people don't even pay attention to it? Majority of the people. Okay. So
Okay.
it's a good yearning. That how come I'm not being successful? Something which is real, something which is true, something that which is the only thing which is true. How come I don't get it? So it's okay. That's a good yearning.
Okay.
Any other question you want to ask?
Yes, one more.
Okay, all right.
So we were talking about how the world is just a show, and you need to just focus on your own mind and stop trying to sway the universal mind. And I understand that. At the same time, sometimes there are these bad winds blowing in the universal mind, and we are part of the universal mind. So if we can blow a good wind, it can help. So my question is, aren't there times when you have to say something? Like, you know, like Gandhi didn't just sit there and say, I'm not going to say anything, I'm only going to work on my own mind. He stood up and tried to sway the universal mind. So action versus inaction.
Yeah, whenever it's your duty to say something, we should say it, but without getting agitated and without expecting any particular result. Okay? So nobody says don't say anything. Saying is okay, but saying because then everybody should listen to me, that is wrong. Okay? Those are the two words we learned today. Desirelessness and detachment.
Attachment.
Yes.
Right? So detached from the outcome and no personal desires. We do live in this world. Definitely we live. That's what I mentioned earlier also. We live in this world. We got to learn to live in this world without getting attached. We got to learn to live just like what is that simile? The lotus. like a lotus flower, lives in the water, but does not get drowned in the water. If the water level goes up, it's a beautiful plant actually. I don't know how many are you familiar with it. That lotus flower raises its level up. That stem increases. If the water goes down, it shrinks. Yes, that's why they use this lotus. Another thing lotus does, only gives. Every part of the lotus plant is used by human beings. Every part. Flower also, the seeds also, the trunk also, and the roots also. So that's why in the scriptures they talk about lotus. How many of you know that those are full makhane, which we call it in Hindi or English, Punjabi? Full makhane. There's are lotus seeds. How nutritious they are. In India, when a young mother delivers the baby, the food which is made, there are full makhane in their lotus seeds. They are so full of vitamins and minerals. Okay, and everything else. And lotus flower looks so beautiful. The most beautiful flower, lotus flower. Okay, so any other question or should we stop it here?
Stop it.
Finished?
Done.
Okay, all right. So let's just end the class with a little couple of minutes of chanting, and we can meditate, and then we can leave. And if you want to stay on to ask another question, that's fine too. But I really admire that every day you guys are coming, listening, paying attention, asking questions. So I really enjoy your company. I really do. Okay. Is Manny there?
Manny?
Yes.
Manny, can you play that?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Thank you very much.